here. This is totally fabulous to see this number of people on such short notice, just from Facebook posts that two of us have made. This is overwhelming. My name is Cushing Samp. I am a citizen of Maine. I am a resident of Saco, and for what it's worth, I'm a registered Republican. My cohort is in the red, white, and blue is Rebecca Halbrook. She is a citizen of Maine, a resident of Phippsburg, and for what it's worth, a registered Democrat. We're the two who started this snowball, managed to get it pushed a little bit downhill, and then the rest of you all jumped on, and thank you so much. We don't want it to melt. I am here to channel all of those who went before, who have stood up in the face of wrong and spoken their conscience. I particularly would like to invoke Margaret Chase Smith and William Cohen, both of whom are Republicans with a huge amount of integrity, who stood up to their own party and said, no, this is wrong, you cannot continue. So in that vein, this is my declaration of conscience. I respect the right of the people for peaceful and freedom of assembly. I respect the legislative process. I respect the checks and balances that our Constitution has placed into effect. I respect the office of the governor. I do not respect the use that this governor has made of his office. And even more than that, I cannot stand idly by while this governor has allegedly taken public funds and used them to destroy a political opponent. Yeah. All of this legislative, I've observed this legislative session. At the very beginning, it seemed kind of, well, ho-hum, very much business as usual. And then the political threat started. And then an honorable public servant was forced to resign from his position. And then the vetoes, the torrent of vetoes, which have happened out of pique and mean-spiritedness. I have watched this legislature dealing valiantly and tirelessly with veto after veto after veto. This is not about politics. This is not about partisanship. This is not about style. This is not about being a little rough around the edges. If true, the allegations against our governor are a direct threat to our democratic principles. Republicans, Democrats, and independents have all pulled together. The House of Representatives has overridden the budget veto. They are tired. Some of them must be very depressed. They want to go home to their neglected families, their friends, and their jobs. But we have one last job that they need to do. Yes. We have their back. We will stand behind them, but we need to have a bipartisan investigation into the allegations against the incumbent governor. That is why I am here today. This is my declaration of conscience.
All right.
Thank you, Cushing. I'm Rebecca Halbrook. I live in... Thank you. I'm Rebecca Halbrook. I live in Phippsburg. My husband and I retired to Maine around 12 years ago. So I have had lots of opportunity to be around the state and see the great way things happen here. And I've been so impressed with the democratic process. I want to clarify one thing first, because this question has come up over and over again and came up again last night from a journalist. Somehow, some way, the impression has been given that we are a shadow group, the two of us who decided on a conversation one night over Facebook to try to hold a rally using social media and our email and our friends, our contacts, that we are a shadow group or we represent some group, a mystical group. I can tell you for sure, it's two ladies, two senior ladies, who decided to do something. We had read the media, and you do, by the way, have amazing exercise of First Amendment in your media here. The power of the free press, use of the First Amendment, courageous reporters and editors and cartoonists.
People who throw Vaseline.
But to get back to the subject, we are two ladies who decided to do something. We were tired of sitting on our hands and watching things out of control, and it didn't seem that anybody else was going to have a rally, and we knew the Maine people wanted one. So what you're seeing here, without a doubt, is an uprising of citizens using people power to try to get it done, get something done.
That's right.
And I'd like to actually lead a chant. I'm 68 years old, so I came up in the 60s. And we always had chants at our rallies. So if you'll please indulge me, I'm going to say, this is what democracy looks like. And if you will please join me and repeat, and we'll do that a couple of times, just to make me feel good, please. This is what democracy looks like.
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 Thank you so much. You sounded awesome. So the citizens are rallying today. I'm so excited to see you out, because if we sit around and don't do anything and just whine and moan, that just doesn't get it done. And we need to encourage our legislators. They are ready to do the will of the people, but sometimes they don't know what the will of the people is. This will inform them. This will support them. This will encourage them as they go forward, hopefully, to start an investigation. Then, When we know what the facts and circumstances are, if they are what we think they are, the impeachment proceedings will go forward. So that's my message to you. I think one thing you can do when you go home is read the newspapers. The newspapers are covering this story. They are writing almost every day about the developments. And we need to stay informed. If we need to come back again for a second rally to do more encouragement, we are prepared to do that. And I know you're with me. We do. Did I just say newspapers? I meant TV and radio, any media, online media too. They've all been fantastic in covering this story, and I know they will continue to be. So I don't want to linger, except to make it clear that this is a citizens movement. I have no idea who the people are in the audience. I know that you must have heard it through social media because that's the only way we had to do this organizing. And I want to encourage you. This is just two senior ladies who did this with a Facebook invitation and some emails. This can be done. We're living in the age of the internet, where people do read and they are interested. Mainers are hugely engaged in what goes on in this state, and people are reading what you post. They might not like it, i.e. on the Facebook kind of liking, but they are reading. And what happened to me with this invitation was something that any citizen of Maine could do. And I hope you will take courage from that. And I also hope that the legislature is listening as we support and encourage them to go forward with this process. Now I'd like to introduce one of the legislators that was an inspiration to us. He and I think 4 or 5 other people stepped forward last week and said, enough is enough. And he started really working on what could be done and calling for an investigation, etc. His name is Jeff Evangelos. He's from Friendship, and he would like to say a few words.
Thank you all very much. Thank you very much for coming. I wanted to introduce you to the leaders. I wanted to introduce you to the leaders of the movement to hold Governor LePage accountable to the rule of law. The First Amendment of the Constitution, the freedom of the press, and the power of the people and the right to peaceably assemble to seek redress of your grievances. Never forget what John Adams said. Liberty can never be preserved without a general knowledge amongst the people. And the courageous reporters and newspaper editors who have risen to the occasion, and the radio reporters and television journalism, thank you for doing your job. Gregory Kasich of the Maine Sunday Telegram and Portland Press Herald, thank you. Matthew Stone of the Bangor Daily News, keep doing your job. Mal Leary of the Public Broadcasting System, thank you for your courage. Our comments are brief today because we have important votes upstairs. Otherwise, I'd be in a different suit today with you. And I want you to know how important it is. The newspapers, the media, and the editors are functioning like it was 1974. They're doing their job, you're doing your job, and the legislature's going to do their job. Lastly, we received news today that the Government Oversight Committee is meeting tomorrow.
All right.
And I'm optimistic. I have every reason to believe that your voices are going to be heard and a fair and open and transparent investigation is going to occur.
Yes.
And let me be clear about this. We stand for the rule of law and a transparent process and the rights of anyone to be innocent until proven guilty, and that includes our governor.
Yes.
We're going to do it the right way.
Yes.
I now will introduce Representative Benjamin Chipman from Portland.
Thank you guys for being here. As some of you probably know, I'm an independent. I've been serving with Jeff here. I've been here since 2010, serving as an independent member of the House of Representatives. I have seen a lot of disputes between the Democrats and Republicans going back and forth and name calling, and this party did that and the other party did this. And I've stayed out of it. I haven't really taken a side in that stuff. I've said, you know, we just got to do our job here and legislate. And what the governor did last week crossed the line for me. It was time to take a stand. You know, my position on it, and Jeff's and the others that have joined us, and the other legislators that have joined this effort, is that we believe, if this is in fact what happened, that the use of $530,000 to blackmail a private school to get somebody fired is wrong, highly unethical, and we have good reason to believe it's a crime. And that's why I'm here today. You know, all across the state for the last week or so, my phone's been ringing off the hook. My email has been flooded with people from all across the state and in my district saying, keep up the good work. We want an investigation. We want justice. We want accountability. And that's why I'm here today. One email that I received last night, I'd like to read to you briefly to give a sense of what's going on across the state. Susan Bloomfield of Kennebunk, who I've never met before, sent me an email. She says, I was considering applying for a position on a state commission, but now because I would serve at the behest of the governor, I'm reluctant to do so, as he can apparently go after private citizens conducting private matters without punishment. That is a frightening thought. This should not be going on across the state. People should not be afraid to apply for jobs in the state, but people are right now. And that's why we got to get some justice. Yesterday, Jeff and I and Representative Charlotte Warren of Hollowell took the unprecedented step of requesting formally an investigation from the Government Oversight Committee. We submitted a letter. This is history making. This has never been done before. We believe an investigation is going to be launched when they meet tomorrow, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. And in that letter, we reserved our right in the Constitution to, if necessary, initiate impeachment proceedings. We're going to wait to see what comes out of the investigation. If it proves that crimes were committed and it's warranted, we will then take that route. So I want to thank everyone for being here today. We're in this journey together, and now I'd like to introduce the good representative from Hollowell, Representative...
So I must keep myself on track. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here today to stand up for civilized, respectful, and legal Maine politics. We have seen it all over the last 5 years, haven't we? We have seen our governor crudely insult our country's president, use an obscenity about the members of the Maine NAACP, demean the loggers of northern Maine, use playground name-calling with the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate, condone robocalls that insult Republican legislators, discuss the desirability of murdering Portland journalists, Lewiston elected officials, and a cartoonist in Bangor, the latter statement made in the front of the cartoonist's Sun. and the waste of time of Maine legislators and the taxes of Maine citizens by playing veto games this spring. Sadly, none of this was a surprise to anyone. Those of us who love Maine, those of us who participate in the public life of Maine, those of us who are proud to be known around the country as the state of Margaret Chase Smith, Ed Muskie, Bill Cohen, George Mitchell, Olympia Snow, Susan Collins, and Angus King, we are saddened and we are embarrassed. This year, the governor has gone beyond embarrassing and saddening. He's ventured into bullying, intimidation, and the flagrant misuse of power. In January, the governor used the threat of withholding public funds to force President John Fitzsimmons to resign from the presidency of the Maine Community College system. In March, the governor decided not to spend the money from the Lands for Maine Future bonds that were approved by 59% of Maine voters in 2010 in order to coerce the legislature to approve his unwise forest management ideas.
That is wrong!
And this month, the governor wrote at least 2 letters to the board of Goodwill Hinckley threatening to withhold public funds from the school if they hired a particular person. Governor LePage has gone beyond embarrassing. He's become a lawbreaker. It is time to say stop. It is time to stand up for the Maine Constitution. That's why we're here today. We want to find out the facts. What was the communication between Governor LePage and his staff with the board of Goodwill Hinckley, and between Governor LePage and his staff with the Alphon Foundation? What are the laws relevant to the misuse of taxpayer dollars, the threatening of political opponents, which bear on these actions? What are the remedies under these laws? We need to find out. And that's why the group of legislators here today has submitted a request to OPEGA for an investigation to begin immediately. This issue is beyond partisanship. The governor has attacked Republicans and Democrats alike all year. It's about what kind of politics we are going to have here in Maine. Are we going to forsake our traditions of civility and bipartisanship and go down the road of bitter and divisive and punitive political warfare? Are we going to allow a bully to break the laws of Maine with no consequences?
No!
We say no. We say no more.
No more!
We say let's fight back. And we say let's start the investigation today.
Thank you very much for taking time away from the important business of your that is taking place in the State House today. We really, really support your efforts. You have been very courageous. You have stepped forward in a timely and unequivocal manner, and for that, we are all extremely grateful. Thank you so much. And to the legislators who are not able to be present right now, we want them to know that we have their backs, that they will step forward and do the right thing. Wow, good speeches, right?
Yeah!
We have good First Amendment rights here, and we use them. Now we're going to do another thing that we did back in the 60s. And you'll indulge me again. We have a representative whose name is Dean Rikerson from Kittery. who knows how to play the guitar and knows how to do folk singing. And he's going to give us a song or two. Dean.
Well, I'd say words are very important, but song is equally important. So I adapted an old Union song for today and dedicated to all of you.
All right. Let me get on this side.
We are the people shall be heard. We are the people shall be heard. We don't need a dictator, the people shall be heard. Oh, we don't need a blowhard, the people shall be heard. We need to move Maine forward, the people shall be heard. We are the people shall be heard. We are the people shall be heard. A governor, not a dictator, the people shall be heard. He keeps talking trashy, the people keep be heard. He treats the workers nasty, the people shall be heard. The people shall be heard. We are the people shall be heard. We don't want a dictator, the people shall be heard. From Kittery to Bangor, the people shall be heard. We can't take it anymore, the people shall be heard. We are the people shall be heard. We are the people shall be heard. A governor, not a dictator, the people shall be heard. Let's hear it. We are the people shall be heard. We are the people shall be heard. A governor, not a dictator, the people shall be heard. Oh, the people shall be heard.
After Barbara? Now I want to introduce Barbara Moore from Indian Island. Barbara and I talked for the first time yesterday. She has taken the initiative to set up a MoveOn.org petition. It is called Recall or Impeach. I signed this a long time ago. I don't know how many months ago. And the numbers were kind of small on this petition. They would gain once in a while when there was a really bad report in the press about what was going on with LePage. But the numbers blossomed and blew out the top yesterday. And she's going to tell you about that. We have the petitions here. She took the trouble to print out all the signatures. And that's pretty amazing, I think. She's very dedicated to her petition. Afterwards, after this, we will take, a delegation of us will take her petitions in and deliver them to the clerk of the House of Representatives. I wanted to give Barbara credit for that and let her have the mic for a little while. I think she deserves it.
Oh boy, Rebecca, you don't know what you just did. Yes, it's true that Rebecca and I did not speak until yesterday. We didn't know of each other's plight except that she had signed it. Yesterday we had a little over 8,800 signatures when I had to decide I wanted to print it and bring it. So I did. And since that time, at 12:20 last night, we went over 10,000 signatures. Thank you all so very much. started the petition myself. I was very dismayed at how the governor treated our Indian tribes. I was also very dismayed at how he treats the poor, the elderly, and the disabled. I'm dismayed that a man can go to prison and pay his debt to society, and then when he comes out, he has to pee in a cup so that his children can eat. I am dismayed by that. And I don't have much else to say. I've got 8,800 signatures here. There's probably at least 2,500 more, which in the last 24 hours have been added to that. And we're going to take them in, and we're going to show them that we are the people. And we are tired of the bully. We need to investigate and find out what really happened. For me, I thought the bond issue was illegal. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, you know, but I thought that we voted for it. He had no right to withhold it. But, you know, we'll see what is actually illegal or not. But thank you all very much. Thank you.
Well, I think this rally is going to be unlike any you've ever been to. Because we're ordinary senior women, we are indulging ourselves, as you can tell. And I was an English major. So when I'm having a problem, I pull out my books and I read, and it makes me feel so much better. So I have this book called A Grateful Heart, Daily Blessings from Buddha to the Beatles. And I read and I read and I read, and I couldn't really find anything that really worked. I didn't want to say a prayer, but I found a verse, and it's so apt in this situation. Because I think that what has happened is there's a little bit of fear of what we're going to find out when we investigate, and fear of how it might not be handled just exactly right. Well, you can tell this rally wasn't handled exactly right, but you came anyway. That's right. That's right. So I think it's a fear of truth, and I want to read this. It's not very long, but it talks about not fearing truth. Do not fear the truth, hard as it may appear, grievously as it may hurt. It is still right, and you were born for it. If you go out to meet and love it, let it exercise your mind. It is your closest friend and closest sister, and I will add closest brother to that. It came from The Desert is Fertile, which I think also is apt, because Maine is fertile, and if we let the truth come out, really good things are going to happen for us. Right. And we can make this state a magnificent state. Yeah. There are so many people who want that to happen. We just have to take action and act judiciously, but act. I think that's what we're here for, to encourage action.
And now one last chance. Hear us, legislators. We have your back. Investigate, investigate, investigate. Hear us, legislators. We have your back. Investigate, investigate, investigate. Hear us, legislators. We have your back. Investigate, investigate, investigate. Thank you so much for being here. We have a permit until 1. You may mingle, chat. Please remember to take your signs and your trash home with you, since Becky and I have a plastic bag, but I just do not have to use it. So thank you so much. This is just amazing.